morning and very hearty welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries who are present here from India and abroad for this very important Bangalore Space Expo, BSX 2022 event, which is an international space exhibition and conference being organized by the Confederation of Indian Industries, CII, proudly in association with the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, New Space India Limited, NSIL, and Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center in Space. Like Mr. Jayant Patil mentioned, I'm also extremely delighted to see a full house in this important event. I'm sure this event is going to be a very enriching experience for all the participants, not only in terms of having a business and technological discussions, but also extremely important opportunity for them to do the networking. Let me just go back a couple of points. One is all around we have been talking about this space sector reforms. So I just want to pull out one or two points out of this and then say what exactly it means to the Indian space business or business economy. So if you look back during June 2020, all of you are aware, the Government of India made a very important and historical announcement of unlocking India's potential in space sector. Idea was basically to create a better commercial space ecosystem in the country and thereby increase countries' share in the total global space economy. Everybody has been talking about this. But I look at it in a slightly different way. In fact, when you look at the announcement of the space sector reforms which was made by the government, what I look at it is this particular announcement, what it eventually did to the space sector is that the startups and the space companies in India, they started having faith and belief. Yes, I think there is a greater space market potential that exists for them, and they could be a significant contributor or partner in taking this vision of enriching our participation in the global space economy. Obviously, I think we at New Space India Limited also were immensely benefited by these sectoral reforms which were announced by the Government of India. And I think our mandate also got significantly enhanced. I just wanted to mention a couple of them. Now, with this space sector reform that has happened, we have the mandate of undertaking the operational missions of Indian Space Research Organization, build ISRO's operational launch vehicles through Indian industry, which we are going in a big way, build satellites through ISRO or also through the private companies, own and operate the space assets, and many more. And we have a lot of activities that we need to go. In fact, we have already started engaging with the Indian industries in a very big way to enable them to take up this technologically challenging task of building launch vehicles. Not only building the launch vehicles end-to-end, but also involving their participation in much larger scope and scale. I'm sure through this effort of New Space India Limited in association with Indian Space Research Organization, Indian industry players would get an extremely opportune opportunity to work, not only work and learn from the extremely experienced manpower during the process of realization of these particular launch vehicles. And I also feel that these particular activities is going to enrich the Indian industry players, where they will have an opportunity to not only work with the experienced ISRO manpower, but also utilize the capital-intensive facilities that have been established in the country at many of the ISRO premises. So I feel this is one very important and significant achievement for the Indian space industry sector. And in the area of building launch vehicles through the industry, as I mentioned, we have the mandate of building all the operational launch vehicles. So we will be primarily concentrating on building 3 operational launch vehicles. One is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle SSLV, and the heaviest launcher of ISRO, the GSLV Mark III, which is now trying to enter into the commercial market. Another important aspect which we feel could go a long way in building the space ecosystem in the country would be through a mechanism of transfer of technology developed by ISRO. Over several decades, I think these technology innovations have been happening in the organization. So how do we effectively transfer this to the industry is one of the mandate that we have. And we are fortunate that we have been identified as the single nodal agency for enabling this technology transfer to the industries. Over last 2 to 3 years, we have done several technology transfers to the industry, but what is more important, which is quite significant, I thought I should mention here, is the transfer of small satellite technology bus to the industry, the IMS-1. And in fact, when this activity was started, the expectation from our side was not all that great that it will be picked up, but we are very happy that tens of companies have come forward to take this particular activity. Now, if you look at as the small satellite manufacturing market is growing among the startups and private companies, and I feel the transfer of this technology to the industry is come at a very opportune time here. Another important point I would just like to mention in terms of what is the role NSIL is going to play in the coming years. What we are seeing today, there is an growing emergence of satellite constellations that are coming up globally, not only for broadband communication services, but also for Earth observational service needs. So there is certainly a very good market potential that is existing there. And I think I don't have to reiterate that everyone is aware how the market is growing. On the other side, when the miniaturization of the satellite systems are happening, newer technologies are emerging. What is interesting is the satellites are shrinking in size. It's no more the 1.5 2 ton Earth observation satellite that talk about. People are talking about moving to nano and micro satellites, which not only provide on-par performance in terms of the technical capability of the satellite that they possess, but I look at it from the ease of mass production. So when you're talking about constellation, what is important is how easy it is for someone to mass produce, because the numbers required are going to be enormous. So when the ease of mass production is going to be there, it's going to bring in better economics in the investment, and which is one of the most suitable and appropriate parameter any company will look at it when they are looking at the constellation concepts. In addition, the small satellites, when they are nano or micro kind of thing, it not only ensures the ease of production, but also more launch opportunities for them when they fly as co-passengers, and then promises better commercial non-service solutions. So in this direction, NSIL would like to explore the possibility of partnering with some of the emerging small satellite manufacturing companies, so that together we could propose a kind of in-orbit delivery solutions to not only the domestic, but also the international user community. I'm sure, I think this particular model of NSIL engaging also with the private companies in taking this particular step forward is going to be extremely successful. As NSIL, by default, we have this added advantage of being an established commercial launch service provider. I think so. The satellite capacity, satellite building capacity, the expertise which is available in the industry, especially in the nano and micro satellites, in the private companies, and the hand of NSIL in having the launch service could be a good in-orbit solution. So this is one area where NSIL would like to be very keen and to explore the collaboration options in the coming years. So just to conclude, I feel this move of liberalizing the space sector in the country through space reforms, which is, will not only empower the Indian industries towards meeting the ever-growing needs of the global commercial space market, but also would pave the way for building newer space in India, as has been mentioned by some of our earlier colleagues. So on behalf of NSIL, we would like to thank the CII for giving us the opportunity, and also wish the event a extremely grand success, and all the delegates a very memorable and eventful day. Thank you very much.